As you can see from these fishers, fishing has become very efficient from over time and technological advances. It hasn't become too much. For reasons, we'll have short anonymous nicknames. I'll be Dude 1.
And I'm Dude 2.
Things we will be covering in this video are the definition of overfishing, the causes or motives for overfishing, the effects or impacts of overfishing, the history or progression of fishing, the types of fishing, and last but not least, what you could do to help prevent overfishing. What exactly is overfishing? Overfishing, in scientific terms, we see the depleted stock of fish in a body of water by quite literally fishing too much. Often this leads to a depletion of fish, leaving the species of fish not being able to repopulate and recover. This of course happens a lot and is one of the most dangerous threats to our ocean, while not being as well known as other environmental topics such as pollution. In fact, marine scientists agree that today, the effects of overfishing to the sea might be even greater threat than the effects of pollution. Just look at the increase of fishing over time in this chart. It seems that fishing rates in the last 3 decades are almost 6 times higher than in 1950. But before we actually explain the tons of effects that overfishing has on the environment, let's find out what causes it. There are 4 causes of overfishing: economic needs, subsidies, poor fisheries management, and pirate fishers. Let's start with economic reasons. The first reason on why overfishing happens is because we need fish for the economy, mainly for food, providing us a low-calorie energy booster that can provide cardiovascular health, psychological health, prevent insomnia, and so much more. But there are other motives of fishing. For example, fish are fished for medical purposes: oil, fish glue for construction, fish fertilizer, animal feed, and they can be even used as a material for electronic parts. Another reason why so many fish are caught is because of the increase in the amount of fishers, technology, and boats. In fact, the number of global fleets doubled in the last 4 decades, and the ranks of fishermen have more than tripled. Technology also plays a huge role in overfishing. Using advancements and inventions such as powerful engines, fancier fishing gear, and fish looking devices have all made fishing more easier and efficient than ever before. While this sounds useful, improvements of tech made fishing too efficient. In fact, fishing is so efficient that it actually depletes the stock of fish before you can even recover and repopulate. This depletion is already huge. The depletion of fish stock made us, although overfishing efforts have almost quadrupled in the last 40 years, the level of fish caught has only been doubled. These guaranteed sums of money and benefits given to fishers by the government are called subsidies. Subsidies, when are large, cause fish to have larger fishing capacity, causing them to fish more, making fish stocks less sustainable, and making fisheries less productive. What does it mean when fisheries are productive? It's not the productive thing. Productivity is the relationship between the amount of fish produced and the inputs actually used to harvest them. It is another factor in how sustainable a fishery is. When fisheries have poor management, productivity is usually bad. Lastly, the last cause of overfishing is pirate fishing. Pirate fishing is illegal and unregulated fishing. Pirate fishers can fish as many fish as they want, usually catching endangered, more rare fish as a way to earn more money. The effects of overfishing is huge, one of the biggest threats to our marine ecosystem. What are the main obvious effects of overfishing? Well, first of all, overfishing causes fish stocks become depleted. When fish stocks are depleted, oftentimes not enough adult fish are left to repopulate and recover. This lack of fish often erodes the marine ecosystem. It also causes ecosystems to become unstable with unbalanced amounts of other species that either depend on the fish or are eaten by the fish. But that's just one of the effects that are caused by this huge problem. For example, overfishing causes economic changes as well as environmental. Some industries and businesses are dependent on fish, so they use the same amount of fish with a constantly decreasing fish stock. This amount of fish used for economy is huge. In fact, today's worldwide fleet is estimated to be 2.5 times because of the capacity needed to catch what we actually need. This amount also causes some species of fish to become endangered or are affected. Another important effect of overfishing is bycatch. What is bycatch? Bycatch is when fishers use large nets to catch fish, but instead catch fish they're not trying to catch. Often this leads to marine organisms like fish, sharks, and dolphins being thrown out. Sometimes it's thrown out wasted fish could be endangered species of fish. This bycatch seems minor, but is actually a #1 killer of these animals worldwide. If the animal does survive after being caught in the gear or net, they often suffer serious life-threatening injuries like oxygen loss and distress while trying to escape. If they do manage to escape though, they typically suffer amputations and other complications that result in death. More than 300,000 whales, dolphins, and porpoises are caught from bycatch every year. This bycatch causes species like caviar, crabs, sharks, bluefin tuna, monkfish, and the Atlantic halibut to become endangered or worse. Wow, look at this. As clearly shown, You can see that in the 1950s, before the fishing industries bloomed and technology wasn't as great, we didn't fish as much as today, and we fished near the surface. As technology got better, our boats could catch fish in deeper waters. This pie chart shows multiple threats to the ocean. As you can see, overfishing is one of the largest threats, being a much larger threat than pollution of 4%. Here's another statistic. 80% of the catch is being thrown away as bycatch. This just proves my previous point how bycatch seems minor, but actually has devastating impacts.
Now let's talk about the cost of overfishing. First, let's talk money terms. Overfishing has used up to 300,000 jobs and up to $3.2 billion each year. Although it does supply jobs of fishermen are dwindling due to the decreasing availability of fish stocks. And we just have to mention the labor, gear, and operating supplies to fish. The economic costs even stack up to you. Fish prices are getting higher and higher due to supply and demand, and gas prices are bad. Another way this can also impact you is because overfishing can affect tourism and you. Now that we have discussed the present cost of overfishing, let's talk about the future, long-term effects, and predictions of overfishing. First, the world is estimated to entirely run out of fish stock by 2048, which is only 26 years away. Long-term effects also include loss of fishermen jobs, reduction in the social, health, and economic well-being, negative impacts on the health of the world's oceans, and multiple levels of marine food webs. Changes in species dynamics such as predator-prey relationships, reduction in overall marine biodiversity, ecosystem shifts, resource depletion, reduced biological growth rates, biomass levels, and an increase to the vulnerability of already stressed ecosystems, especially from invasive marine species that can cause damage. Now, here's what you can do to help. After all, every action matters. First of all, you can choose the right seafood when shopping by choosing fish that are not endangered, as it will lower demand and reduce the number of the endangered fish caught by fishing companies. Next, you can eat small fish instead of big fish. Doing this will prevent the lack of predators of the food chain. These predators are important as they are prey for sharks and other marine predators. Lastly, you can raise awareness, like how I am doing right now, spreading the word through advertisements, newspapers, TV, radio, and other mass media, and give a hand on the overfishing situation. Now, if you're really passionate about this problem, you can join or donate to environmental campaigns.
This is what we just discussed in this video. The definition of overfishing, the causes or motives for overfishing, uses of fish, fishing technology, the effects and impacts of overfishing, productivity, fish stocks, offshore subsidies, types of fishing, the history or progression of fishing, what you can do to help prevent overfishing, statistics of overfishing, and again, I'm Dude 1.
And I'm Dude 2.
And go make a difference out there.